First, media reports in Iran say at least 35 people have been trampled to death, close to 50 more hurt, when a stampede broke out at a funeral procession for General Qasem Soleimani. Thousands had turned out in the Iranian town of Kerman, the hometown of Iran's military chief, who was killed last week by an American airstrike. Today marks the final day of mourning after a series of tributes across the country. His death has brought tensions between the U.S. and Iran to a high point.
U.S. troops are not pulling out of Iraq. That was the definitive answer from the top U.S. general. But for more than an hour this Monday, that wasn't exactly clear. This after the release of a letter from U.S. command to the Iraqi government suggesting that the U.S. would be pulling out of Iraq, a letter that acknowledged the Iraqi government's sovereign decision to order their departure. This after a vote by the Iraqi Parliament to end the presence of all foreign troops. The U.S. Secretary of Defense, Mark Esper, acknowledged the existence of this letter, but said that it was inconsistent with the current U.S. policy.
Going in more hot water after the company discovered another potential design flaw with the 737 MAX jet. A December audit of the plane's safety, ordered by the Federal Aviation Administration, found problems with the wiring in the 737 MAX. The company now looking into whether two sections of wiring that control the tail of the plane are too close together, which could cause a short circuit and potential crash. Delta Airlines workers have filed a class action lawsuit against Land's End, claiming their uniforms are making them sick. The uniforms debuted on May 29, 2018, and are worn by 64,000 Delta employees. The lawsuit alleges several Delta employees suffered health issues, including severe respiratory illnesses, headaches, and fatigue.
Harvey Weinstein was in a New York courtroom today, and then he was hit with new sex assault charges in Los Angeles. Two women there, the same hotel, one night right after the other.
Just hours after the former Hollywood heavyweight hobbled into this New York courthouse for the start of his sexual assault trial.
This trial is to show the jury, the state of New York, and the world that there's more to this than they would like everyone to believe.
Harvey Weinstein slapped with new charges today in Los Angeles.
The defendant used his power and influence to gain access to his victims and then committed violent crimes against them.
The DA accuses Weinstein of raping one woman in her L.A. hotel room, then the next night allegedly sexually assaulting another woman in a hotel suite.
Mr. Weinstein, sir.
All just days before appearing here on the 2013 Oscars red carpet with his pregnant wife.
Here in Benghazi, a spokesman for the forces of Libyan strongman Khalifa Haftar announced the capture of Sirte, a coastal city more than 500 kilometers away.
This strike, which was planned very efficiently and with great caution, was carried out under the direct supervision of the commander-in-chief. All of the officers truly participated in the plan that was laid out. The offensive was executed in no more than 3 hours.
Hometown of former President Muammar al-Gaddafi, Sirte has been controlled by the UN-backed government of National Accord for more than 3 years, having been liberated from the Islamic State group in December 2016. With the situation on the ground remaining murky, the loss of the city has not yet officially been confirmed.
The headline reads, Congress wakes to 2 speakers of the House. In a country which already has 2 men claiming the presidency, Venezuelans are understandably confused and frustrated. On Sunday, National Guardsmen prevented opposition Majority Leader Juan Guaido and other deputies from entering Parliament to initiate the year's session, as the Constitution stipulates. In his place, the pro-government minority swore in as speaker a deputy recently expelled from his opposition party. But that wasn't the end of it. This is the headquarters of the opposition newspaper El Nacional, whose auditorium was used on Sunday night by the opposition to elect and swear in Juan Guaido. But in a few hours, Guaido will attempt to return to the real Congress building, accompanied by some 100 opposition deputies, to challenge the man whom he says is usurping his rightful place.
He preyed on the young, the drunk, the vulnerable, targeting central Manchester at night from the shadows. After a 2-year police investigation and a suspected 190 victims, we can now reveal the identity of Britain's most prolific rapist.
Reynard Tambos Maruli Tua Sinaga.
Reynard Sinaga was from Indonesia, from a wealthy family. He moved to Manchester to study in 2007, first a master's and then a PhD. But no one knew the 36-year-old academic was leading a sick double life.
Catalonia's battle for independence is currently being fought in the courts, with jailed or exiled separatist leaders demanding political rights. On Monday, the European Parliament sided with them on one point, that of recognising pro-independence Oriol Junqueras, Carles Puigdemont and Toni Comín as MEPs. Spain's been trying to block them from taking up their seats in the chamber. The three stood in last May's European elections, despite, in the case of Junqueras, being on trial for sedition at the time. He was later convicted and jailed for his role in an illegal 2017 Catalan independence referendum. The move by the EU Parliament comes 3 days after Spain's electoral authority decided to veto jailed Junqueras from taking up his parliamentary seat.